Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Sanskar.
Myself Tanay.
Today we are here to give a presentation on the topic Git and GitHub. So basically, when we think of Git and GitHub, the first question that comes to our mind is what is Git? Git was given by Leonard Torvalds in 2005. It was a distributed version control system. Basically, it allowed us to track the changes in our code. When we are building a project, we have to understand there are different versions as we go along with the development of the project. It helps in collaboration and tracking of the project along with other coordinators and contributors. What is the need of Git? Before Git, there were multiple systems that allowed us to track the progress, such as Apache Subversion, concurrent version systems, and revision control systems. But all the systems was very expensive and not very user friendly. So therefore, with the need of speed and collaboration in the Linux kernel system, Git was born. What are the features of Git? Git gives us the feature of high customizable settings, and it allows us to undo the mistakes that we have done while making a project. It is an open source platform that is very flexible, and due to its distributed nature, anyone can contribute to the project. It also provides features of branching and merging. So now let us understand version control. So basically, the purpose of version control is to manage and record the changes as we are developing a project and to revert to the previous state. For example, if an error occurs on the way of building a project, so we can revert back to the last save point. There are two types of version controls. Number one is centralized VCS, that is single center repository. That are the subversions that we talked about before. Basically, they are the single points through which all the changes are made. While second is the distributed version control. There are multiple repositories that any user can make a local copy and then change that. For example, Git. So what is GitHub? So they might sound similar, but GitHub is a web platform that supports Git repositories. It facilitates collaboration, coding, and sharing among the developers. It is a user-friendly interface for managing, tracking changes. It is free to use platform for hosting and sharing projects. So what is the need of GitHub? It is a project management tool for the modern industry to track the progress and the tasks done on a daily basis. It is a very useful tool. It is very simplified to share code and review code. It helps in distributed version control as discussed before. It also helps us to achieve open source contributions. So what are the features that GitHub offers? Number one is the creation of repositories to store the code and the files of the project. Second, it offers branching so that many people, without affecting the main code, can work on different versions of the code. It provides issue and project management. So basically you can track bugs and fix the bugs. It also offers CI/CD integration. Basically that means on a daily basis you can integrate whatever you have built and deploy them simultaneously. This is achieved by GitHub Action. That is a feature of GitHub. So there are many alternatives available to the GitHub. There are GitLab, Bitbucket, Azure Repos, and etc. But due to its features, it is still mainframe and widely adopted in the industry today. So as we have discussed, it might sound familiar, and it also confuses us what is GitHub and what is Git. So the difference between is, number one, the purpose. The Git is a software that helps us to control and track the manage the code changes. Okay? Like GitHub जो है, it's a platform for hosting Git repositories. It enables collaboration. Functionality, so Git works locally on the system, while GitHub is a web-based interface. Collaboration, Git focuses on managing the code, while GitHub, it enhances teamwork for it provides functions like pull requests and issue tracking. Ownership, it's an open source system, and it was made by Linus Torvalds as discussed before, and GitHub is owned by Microsoft since 2018. Now let's talk about installation of Git. So to install Git, first you'll have to visit on this website, that is the official website of Git, gitscm.com. And for various operating systems, it has available links so that you can follow the procedure and download the Git in your system. To confirm the successful installation, you can run git ---- version that we will discuss ahead. So to configure Git, as we talked about, a feature of Git is that it is very customizable. So to understand how we can customize the settings, this is the following So we can customize the settings like username and detail. So basically whenever we commit a change, so it will keep track of who was the author and who changed it with the timestamp. And it also enables us to change the code. By default, Git comes with Vim code editor, which is very hectic to use. You can change the code editor by this following code to the VS Code editor. So let's talk about the basic Git commands that help us to navigate through Git. Number one is git -- version. This command displays the version of the Git installed on your system. For example, I have shown the implementation of that. So Git version 2.45.2 is installed in my system. Second is Git status. So to check the current state of what repository is in, you have to implement Git status. So this is not an error. This is basically the message that tells us the following repository is not a Git repository. So to make that, you will have to initialize that as a Git repository. You will have to use the command git init. That we will discuss ahead. So after initializing that repository, you can see that Git status has given the following answer. So as discussed before, git init, it is a command to create a folder that is on your system and initialize it as a Git repository. So this is the following command, and what it does is behind the scene it adds a .git folder to your project. For example, in the D folder here, it has added .git folder here. It has basically all the modules that you need to navigate through Git. There are the next command is git add file name. So for example, there are multiple files in your project. You have created a project and you have added multiple files. To add them to the repository, you will have to use this following function. So here I have added a text file into the staging area. So what is the staging area? We'll discuss ahead. So I have added this, and as you can see, Git status, it is showing I have added a new file, that is panna1.txt. Now there are multiple flags that are associated with git add. That is git add dot, for example, to add all the files in the staging area, --all to add all files in the staging area. Similar to that, ***txt, that is to add all text files, and // to all the particular doc files in the staging area. So the next is git commit -m message. So basically this is the command to save a snapshot of whatever the changes are made. It saves them permanently, but it also helps us to track back to the last version that we have saved. So basically you write the code, you add the code, then you commit it. So the common practice is in the industry to write a proper message so that the other contributors can understand what you have added. For example, if I have committed the first file that was named panna1, so I added panna1 as the message here. So you should also focus on clear and concise message in the commit messages, and also break down the project into small commits, so it is easier to navigate back to the last version. Let's talk about git ignore. While creating a project, there are multiple security issues or files that we do not want other people to see in the open world. So to make git ignore them, we use the git ignore. To initialize that, we'll have to make a folder .git ignore, and then if we add the modules with the extensions that we want Git to ignore, then we'll have to add this file, then again commit that to the repository. So then Git will start ignoring that. So why does it ignore these files? Basically, these files consist of API keys, SSH IDs, and multiple security related keys that we do not want to give to others.
All these icons will be removed.
Okay.
There should not be these funny icons, because this is professional course and professional presentation. Now only the content related to the subject and content related to your project. अगर आप कोई project इसमें बता रहे हैं, उस project का नाम वो हमें इसमें देना है. Okay?
So what is the workflow of Git? Basically, to navigate through Git, what happens is first you initialize that repository as a working directory, and you add the files. It goes to a staging area. Staging areas before, like in theaters also, before performing on the stage, there is a backstage for staging area. Similarly, here it is staging area. Then we go to git commit. Then that goes to the repo, but it is locally stored. To push it onto the GitHub, you'll have to give the command git push. That we'll discuss ahead. Git log is another command that we use to see what is the history of commits here. So when we type git log, it gives a detailed explanation of who committed on what date, and the whole timestamp is added here. But to get it in one line, we'll have to use the flag one line. It is like a visitor log that we use to visit a building. It's similar to that. Git clone. Git clone is another command that we use to clone a repository. For example, I'm working on a project that I like. I'm working on a project that I like of a person who had already made that project. I wanted to contribute something, but I cannot directly contribute to that. I'll first have to clone that into my local machine using this command and the link of the repository. Other important commands are git reset, that will reset the command, reset the changes made in that branch. Git reset commit hash using that commit hash code that is generated, and git revert that creates a new commit reverting changes to the specific commit that lastly we made. So I would like to pass upon Tanak.
Up to this, ask any two questions from that backside student and from the first student. Could be a question.
Why do we get an error when we have not initialized the file, repository?
Last. Should we repeat the question? Repeat the
Basically, why do we get that error when we type git status on a repository? Because it is not a git repository.
Another question for students.
What does git commit do? What does the command git commit do?
Basically starts executing
It saves the snapshot of that.
ध्यान से प्रेजेंटेशन सुन रहा हूँ. हाँ, बाकी सबको इस पार्ट पे कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना है?
So now let's continue and understand the branches in Git. So what is branches? A branch is a separate line of development in a repository. You can consider branch like a different timeline in a project where you can create, as you can see in example here, orange line denotes the main branch, because by default in Git we have the main branch which was previously known as master branch, and you can consider like the bug has occurred. So what you can do is you can create a new branch which is shown in blue color, and what you can do is you can hire a developer to solve the issue. So he doesn't actually conflict with your main code base, and can solve the bug independently, and after that the bug is solved, he can merge back to the main branch. So what are the importance of branching? It enables collaboration, means it facilitates the collaboration so that we do not disrupt the main database, and allows multiple developers to work simultaneously. So what can be used? As I have previously mentioned, it is used for solving the bugs. So what are the basic commands for creating new branch? So for creating a new branch, we give the command like git branch name, or for switching to a next branch we can use git checkout branch name, and for listing all the branches we use git branch, and deleting we use git branch minus the branch name. So here I have given the snapshots of my own local repository. So here git branch, as you can see, these are the list of the branches that I have made, and git checkout. If I have checkout is used, so that it will first check whether the particular branch is present or not, and after like I have pasted git checkout dark mode. So if it is present, then it will switch to that branch. So merging branches. This one is very easy, that you are trying to merge a branch, but in this what happened is there are no conflicts, because here, as you can I will tell you with this example, like we have created a branch master, and after that some bugs have arrived. So what I have done is I have created a new branch which is bug fix. So what it will done is it will do whatever it it is to test the bug or clear the code. But after that, the fast forward merge
What
is
command will be used to fix the bug?
no ma'am, it's a particular developer and he's
Basically, it is the name of the branch that
branch. Yes ma'am.
bug fix.
Bug fix. So what it will do is he will solve the particular problem, and after that he will merge.
Implemented this particular thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes ma'am. But
आप आगे demonstrate करोगे?
Yeah.
ठीक.
so what it will do is it will not create any conflict, because we can, after solving our bug issue, we can just merge it with the main branch. And you can see here the commands like git checkout main. First of all, we have to move to main branch for all the changes to happen, because main branch is where our code resides, and then we will use the command git merge bug fix. So it will merge all the changes that has been done by the bug fix to the main branch. And non-fast forward merge, it is another type of merge, but in this what happen is both master and bug fix, both the branches are working simultaneously on a single file. So chances of conflicts occur because they actually share a same file, and whatever changes they have made, due to which conflict occurs. So this is the key difference between the fast forward and not fast forward merge. So this is the conflict that occurs when non-fast forward merge we actually implement. See, I have implemented it, and the green background which actually shows my current change, where I have done some changes in my file 1, and it is the next file which I want to merge with the main branch, and it have done some other changes with the same file. So this is the error which occurs. So we can solve this error manually by deleting or accepting both of them, whereas in VS Code it actually gives us built-in merge tool which can solve by, as you can see here, accept current change, or we can click either of this option to resolve the conflict. Git terminologies. So git diff. What is git diff used for? Git diff is informative command that shows the difference between the different commits. Like as a developer, you may have code, you have edited a file, and now you want to check whether what are the changes you have made. So you can simply use git diff. Okay, and here are this one. So these are all the commands. Stash. Stash is a way to save your changes in a temporary location. Suppose you have a file but you don't want to commit it. So what you do is you can just use stash so that you can come back later when you want to apply the changes. These are the different commands. And git rebase. So rebase moves or reapplies commit from one branch to another. It means that when we want to recommit the history, and when we want to stop the pollution of commits, because commits tells us as a developer what are the changes we have made. So git rebase is actually used to write cleaner commits sequentially. These are the features why we use git rebase. And what is the difference between rebase and merge? So in terms of commit history, it's a linear and clean history, whereas in git merge we use parallel and merge commits. In use case, cleanup and private, whereas git merge we use collaborative projects. So as you know how to, first of all, when you want to create a GitHub account, you have to visit the website, and this type of interface you will encounter, and then you have to sign in. You can sign in either by Google. Now configure your config file. So you want to establish connection between Git and GitHub. You have to first of all create a SSH key. This is the command you have to run in your terminal to create an SSH. No ma'am, we will implement it. We will implement.
Basically, it was already implemented in our system, so they were already connected.
Then we will save the key by using this code. Then we have to add it to GitHub. This is my screenshot actually from my system, and it will look like this. So that what SSH key help us, it helps us to establish connection so that we can use Git and directly push our local repository to remote repository. So some terminologies like git push, we push whatever changes we have done in our local machine, we can push to git remote repository. Git pull is a combination of git fetch and git merge. When we want some changes from git remote repository to our local machine, we use git pull and similarly git fetch. So in this way we actually pull the remote repository from local repository, and if you want to some add changes we can do, and it actually involves in open source. So GitHub terminology, git fork is used for existing repository that resides in your own account. It allows us to make changes independently without affecting the original repository. Means when you want to collaborate in open source, you will use the fork command so that the repository will be copied to your own repository, and then you can just clone it, and whatever changes you have to make you can do. Now
हम implementation so basically I have this folder git impli. So for example, if I want this A repository to be a git repository, I'll go to the terminal, then I'll first go to that terminal with change directory, then to initialize it as discussed we'll have to type git init.
बग फिक्स का जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है वो इसमें नहीं आया।
मैम आ जाएगा कर मैम बेसिकली वो एक ब्रांच हमने
वो
बनाई
एक
है।
ब्रांच ही है, सच हमने बग फिक्स जो है उसका ब्रांच का नाम रखा है।
ओके
या
So now you can see the git status of this. So I have not committed anything. Now when I create a file, so as you can see it is showing you that is untracked. So to add this file to the git, we'll have to do git add. We can also use git add dot basically. We can also do git add dot to add all the files. As you can see, a new file is added and it is showing the message in the git status.
now we have to commit it.
कोई प्रोजेक्ट ऑलरेडी बना हुआ है यूजिंग गिट, ऐसा कोई आपने पास्ट में कोई प्रोजेक्ट बनाया जिसमें आपने गिट रिपोजिटरी और गिट का यूज किया?
मैम क्लोन ही करा था मतलब।
So now this file is added. As you can see, git commit. You can also check the log. As you can see, it is showing the commit hash. This is the code. This is showing that the head is pointed to the main branch, and we have this is the message here. Added file 1. And also to create a repository, we'll have to first name a repository. For example, created this, and to initialize this into your code editor, you'll have to copy this code into your terminal. So it will initialize it.
रिपोजिटरी का नाम क्या है?
Git learn 2.
Refresh.
So as we can see,
File
we have
txt.
added file .txt, so it is on the GitHub right now.
स्टॉप